Welcome back, students. Today I am here with another interesting topic of strategic management, and that is portfolio analysis through Porter's 5 forces model. So the Harvard Business School's professor Michael Porter has developed this model, and according to him there are 5 forces that are responsible for deciding the industry's attractiveness and its profitability. So the fundamental of this model is from where the profitability of the business comes. So what is going on in the market that is creating a profit for any of the organization. And according to him, these 5 forces all together are responsible. So let us understand this model in detail. So what this model is? It is a framework. What it allows? It allows us to analyze and evaluate the root cause of the profitability in particular industry. So what it allows us is a state of competition to be analyzed on basis of these 5 forces, and he says that this competition is depending on these 5 forces. 5 forces collectively tells the profit potential as well as how much attractive that industry is. Now by the meaning of industry attractiveness, we mean that what is there in for the competitor or for the market player that will allow him or make him to enter into that particular segment and sell his product for the future. So this basically, these factors affects the long-term attractiveness of the company or industry altogether. So let us see what these 5 factors are. So as per Michael Porter, these 5 factors are threats of new entrants and threats of substitute products, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, and fifth and the important one is rivalry among the existing competitors. Now we will understand these 5 forces one by one. So these 5 analyzes the level of competition with the industry, and he says that if the competition is intense, then there will be no attractive returns. I will explain why. And vis-a-vis to this, if the competition is mild, there will be higher returns. Let us understand this with the help of 2 examples. As for Michael Porter, he has given the example of airline industry. So, which players will be entering into airline business? Just think of it. Who will enter into airline business, have his own aircrafts, have his own airline which is given for the routes, and he will get the licenses, he will get all the government policies done, he will get the frequencies and so on. And they will also have to decide their base stations, they will have to buy their own aircrafts and schedule them. So there is a lot of capital investment involved in this. So this industry is not at all so attractive because of the high capital invested, and also there is a danger and there is a difficult situation to exit once entered into this. We all know what happened with Kingfisher Airlines, right? And we also know how the Indian Airlines struggled. So as per this example, there is a less attractiveness in this industry and only major players or the big players can enter. This was the situation from the very beginning. Nowadays, what has changed is many of the banks are allowing the finances. There are different finance houses, and also the bifurcation of the services has become possible. So one airline can have just one of its airplane and travel through a fixed route. So this is possible, and that's why the liberation of the market access has allowed other players to come in. But still they are taking a lot of risks. So the rivalry is an important factor. So let us discuss the first, that is the threats of new entrants. Any industry which is existing industry, established one or the new one, there is always a threat of new entrant or new competitor to the existing player. If the industry is highly attractive, that means the intensity of why it will be highly attractive, because there are higher profits one can gain. So he will try to enter into that market. So if new entrants or new competitors keep coming, your profits will be shared. And that's why this models allows us to compare or to connect these two factors. One is competition and one is profitability. So as per Michael Porter, he says that higher the competition, lower will be the profits for the industry, and vice versa. So there is always a threat of new entrants. What factors we can consider into this segment is, see, barriers to entry, brand loyalty, there are capital requirements which is high, exit costs are also high, because once the fixed capital is invested, then it is not so possible, or it is not so easy to exit from it without profits. And there are certain government policies which may create some barriers. So the threats of new entrants considers all this. So Michael Porter has listed down these factors and more under this. There is also a threat of new substitute products. If there are no competitors but substitute products come, the current industry will be affected badly. Let us take example of pen drives. There were CDs, then came pen drives. So as soon as the pen drive started coming into the market, the CD industry got down, because nowadays nobody is producing CDs as in a quantity as they used to do earlier, right? As the Google Drive has come, again the use of pen drives has become less. So once the substitutes start coming in, that is creating a threat, and that is going to hamper your profits. So this is also part of the competition, right? So as per Michael Porter's, the factors coming under this are threat of new substitutes or new products are number of substitutes, how many number of substitutes can come, what is the size of them, buyer's propensity to substitute is how much, that you will have to analyze, perceived level of products of the customer for your product as well as for the substitute products, and also relative price that is performing for the substitute products. If the substitute product is also lesser costly, the current industry will be badly affected. So that's why he says that this factor has to be considered, analyzed, and it is going to affect your profitability. Next is bargaining power of the suppliers. If the suppliers are able to bargain with you, then what? So bargaining power of suppliers, yes. So it considers these factors. Number of suppliers, how many suppliers are going to be there, because one supplier will be having its own competing suppliers. So what is the size of suppliers, from where your supplier can come and from how many sources it can come, what is the uniqueness of these suppliers' products, that is also important. The focal company's ability to succeed. So we are here talking about their competitiveness and capabilities, and also the switching cost. If the switching costs from the industry are high, then it will again hamper our profits. So the next force is bargaining power of the buyers. This was the suppliers. Now let us see how, if the buyers start bargaining, then what will happen and how the profits will be compromised. So bargaining power of buyers considers number of customers, what is your customer base, what is the size of each order that is coming in from every customer, then differences between the competitors, and also the price sensitivity between these products, buyer's ability to substitute, and also the switching cost here. So these are the buying powers of buyers. And the last one is, let us come back again to rivalry of the existing customers. So this factor, according to Michael Porter, considers number of competitors, how many competitors there are in the market, what is the diversity of the competitors, how is the industry concentration, industry growth, how loyal customers are to that particular brand, barriers to exit and quality differences. So these 5 forces are having their own factors listed down here, which all together causes a force for the competition, and these are the factors responsible for creating your profits. Under the rivalry, Michael Porter also uses 2 terms, that is the zero-sum competition and one is positive sum competition. By these he means that when we talk about zero-sum competition, it means one's gain is another's, one's gain is coming from another's loss. To illustrate it, I will give you an example of, let us say if you are a hardcore lover or a brand loyal of Pepsi. So you always have a cold drink, that is Pepsi, everywhere. So everywhere you go. So it may happen that sometimes Pepsi is not available with the seller. What you would do? If that particular day the stock of Pepsi gets vanished or is not available with that seller, he might offer you, okay, Pepsi is not available, you can have Coca-Cola or Thums Up. When the tests are similar, when the prices are almost similar for these competing products, you will definitely go for its substitute product, and that may be Thums Up or Coca-Cola in the same price. Now what is happening here? Because of the shortage of stock of Pepsi, fine, the Coca-Cola or Thums Up will gain. So one bottle that would have been sold by Pepsi, it will be now sold by Coca-Cola or Thums Up. So where that one price is lost by Pepsi, it was the gain for others. So this is the zero-sum game, or the zero-sum competition where one's gain is coming from others' loss, and so nothing more is created in the market. And when we talk about positive sum competition, it talks about the company's competency on different attributes or the parts of the customers. So here they will be companies compete on the different products for the different customers. So here when we talked about zero-sum game, we were talking about some similar products as well. But here the product range is different, customers are different, and they can compete here. So that is a positive sum competition, which these 2 terms have been used by the Michael Porter and the rivalry. So this is the whole picture, students, about the Michael Porter's 5 forces model. Now this model, as we have talked, is a framework and it allows the external analysis. Here he has also talked about macro versus task environment. And what is it? Let us understand. In the last lectures we have talked about internal analysis or internal environment and external environment. Here there is a third term called task environment. And what is that? So here in the picture you can see at the center that is internal environment, which is internal or company and its stakeholders. Whereas external environment, we had talked about the outsiders, those are our customers, they are also the suppliers and so on. So internal, external, and all together they are creating a macro environment for the industry. Now when we talk about the exchange or the transactions which are happening between the internal and external environment, here it creates this task environment where the actual transactions are going on a direct basis. So this whole picture also allows us to understand the task environment and do its analysis. So this is the whole picture, and five forces model is also allowing us to understand these five forces for any industry you can take. So when Michael Porter is giving an example of airline industry for the intense competition where nobody would easily come into the market segment, he also talks about the mild competition or soft competition with the example of soft drinks, where there is a great demand, there is a large customer base, and it is easy to enter into the market. So there are some key points I am going to list down now. So let's try to understand them. First is, higher the competition, lesser will be the profits or lesser will be the profit share, because now the more easiness is there and more attractive the market is, more people will come into as sellers and your profits will be shared among all those competitors. There is a concept called, see, if there is a market of 100 customers, if there is only one seller, all these customers belong to one seller. If there are two, it will be 50-50 or so on. So whosoever is performing better, he will be fetching more customers. So as more number of competitors coming in, these 100 will be divided into them, and that's why we say that the market share becomes less and less as the competition and the competitors increase. So if there is a high competition, like in case of FMCG goods, you can see, let's take an example of 10 rupees unit biscuit pack. So if one company starts with that, other companies will have to sell the same price unit of the biscuits, because the competition is extremely high. There are a number of players and they have to struggle for keeping their profits. I hope this model is pretty explainable enough to help you understand what happens in the industry and how we can evaluate or analyze any industry with the help of these five forces. So for an assignment, I would like you to pick any other industry other than airline or soft drink, as we have discussed here, and try to understand it with the help of these five forces. So unless and until I bring you the next management lesson, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.